I remember the day Akobi came back from wherever he had gone. It was early in the morning when we found him lying just outside the compound gates. His clothes were dirty, and he looked tired, as if he'd walked all night. Baba, Chief Aled, was furious. He asked Akobi where he had been, but Akobi didn't give a proper answer. I was just exploring, Akobi said, his voice low. Baba didn't like that answer, but he let it go and warned Akobi not to embarrass the family again. Akobi looked different that morning, though. His hands, they had these strange dark lines, like tree roots. I asked him about it later, but he just covered them up and told me to mind my business. Things started to change after that. At first, it was small. Traders from faraway lands came to our compound with expensive things, gold, rare beads, fine clothes. They all seemed to want to do business with Akobi. He was buying lands, livestock, and treasures like someone who had all the money in the world. People in the village started talking about him. Akobi is lucky, they said. He's even richer than his father now. Baba didn't say much, but I could tell he was uncomfortable. Akobi, on the other hand, seemed to enjoy the attention. He started calling himself Akobi the Great. But then, strange things started happening. The first time someone disappeared, it was one of the compound servants. No one could explain it. She went to fetch water one morning and never came back. Everyone thought maybe she had run away, but soon, another servant disappeared. And then another. The whispers began. People in the village were saying that Akobi had done something terrible to get his wealth. Some even said he had gone into the Forest of Oro and made a deal with the spirits. I didn't want to believe it, but Akobi wasn't acting like himself anymore. He was restless, angry, and afraid. At night, I could hear him talking to himself in his room. Sometimes, I thought I heard whispers, but they weren't his voice. They were something else. One evening, I decided to confront him. Akobi, I said, what is going on? People are scared of you. They think you brought a curse on this family. He laughed, but it wasn't his usual laugh. It sounded forced, almost cruel. Don't listen to them, Tate. They are jealous of my success, he said. But I could see the fear in his eyes. He wasn't as confident as he pretended to be. A few nights later, I saw him sneaking out of the compound. I followed him, staying far enough behind that he wouldn't notice me. He went straight to the edge of the Forest of Oro. Why are you doing this to me? I heard him shout into the darkness. I gave you what you wanted. I froze when I saw it. A shadowy figure appeared from the forest, its eyes glowing like burning coals. Its voice was strange, like many people whispering at once. We warned you, it said. The more you take, the more we take. Your greed has no end, Akobi. Akobi fell to his knees. Please, give me more time, he begged. The figure only laughed. Your time is running out. Soon, we will take what matters most. Then it disappeared into the trees. After that night, everything got worse. The whispers in Akobi's room got louder. He stopped sleeping and looked like a shadow of himself. His eyes were dark, his skin pale, and he seemed smaller somehow. Then one morning, Baba was gone. His bed was empty, and no one could find him. Akobi locked himself in his room after that. He didn't come out for days. The last time I saw Akobi, he was sitting in the middle of the compound, surrounded by all his gold and treasures. He looked so different, thin, weak, and scared. Tate, he said to me, if I disappear, don't come looking for me. I didn't understand what he meant, but that night, I heard screams coming from his room. By the time we broke down the door, it was too late. Akobi was gone. Everything, his gold, his treasures, even his bed, was gone too. The room was completely empty, as if he had never been there. The villagers say Akobi's greed is what destroyed him. Some believe he's still out there, wandering the Forest of Oro, trapped by the deal he made. Others say his spirit waits for the next person foolish enough to seek wealth at any cost. But I know the truth. I saw it with my own eyes. Akobi's greed took everything from him, and it didn't stop there. That's why, to this day, I stay far away from the Forest of Oro.